Throwdown Nation, we are live on a Saturday night. We are live with episode 32 of the Throwdown with Matt. And tonight it is my distinct pleasure to have with me my new friend, the Trillest Deville. How you doing, sir?
Oh man, I'm doing good tonight. Thank you for having me on your show, brother.
Man, I am just delighted, absolutely thrilled to have you. Man, doing these live streams is an absolute honor. I love telling or doing my part to help tell the story of people chasing a dream. And man, that's what this is all about. So we're going to get down to business here and start with the first and most obvious question, sir, and that is, how long have you been wrestling?
Well, so far I've been wrestling for a couple of months, but I've been training for years. I've been before I went with Ring Wars Carolina, which is my home. I love them dearly, and they've been very patient with me throughout the journey up to my debut. Before then, my friend from college, she introduced me to some wrestlers, and I've been training with them, and I thank them every day too. And shout out to Eric Royal, Metallico, BK Westbrook, Ella Envy, TKO, JT Moss, Buddy Flowers, Snooty Fox. Oh my gosh, all of them. They also are the ones that gave me some good advice, much needed tips in regards to the wrestling world on how to have good chemistry in Ring Wars Carolina. I thank them as well for giving me the platform to achieve a childhood dream that I always wanted to do, and that was wrestle. So I will forever be grateful for Wing Wars and my other wrestling friends for preparing me for this moment to finally be a part of the wrestling business.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm proud of you, man, for doing what you've had to do to chase this dream. That is just such a cool thing, you know.
They get
So,
bumps and bruises.
oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Some of them physical, some of them mental, some of them emotional.
Oh my lord, all of it was a roller coaster, man. But I'm here. I ain't going nowhere.
Awesome. So you named off a few names, but who was really you would say your primary trainer?
His name is Nightstick Eddie Brown. He is my primary trainer, and he is an awesome trainer. Very funny. He takes fundamentals very, very, very serious, and that is very much important, especially in the wrestling world, because he said pretty much if you can't do something as simple as this, you think you're gonna do anything else like special or extravagant? The fundamentals is what can make a match and what can tell a story, and I always take that very important. I never take it with a grain of salt because it is true. Fundamentals, you can make a match just with a headlock, takeover, arm drag, body slam. You could make a
Mhm.
whole story in a match from that, and it'll be amazing. So Eddie Brown, he is my primary trainer. Nightstick Eddie Brown, he is my primary trainer, and he is a phenomenal trainer.
Awesome. So speed round, and you may know this man by potentially two different names depending on how far back you go:
Okay.
Sami Zayn or El Generico.
Ooh, ooh. El Generico. Oh man, Haluva kick, man.
Mm-hmm.
Haluva kick. Blue Thunder Bomb.
Yep.
That's my
That's
boy.
that's a talented dude.
Very talented. To be honest, it took me a minute to realize that he was El Generico until I started to watch his own match. I was like, huh, this guy got the same moves as Sammy. Oh, that's who that is.
Yep.
I
Yep.
was
Yep.
like, yo. And he has some awesome matches against folks. I didn't know he had an encounter with Psycho Sid before. I said, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, Sammy's been in the game for quite a while.
I wouldn't have guessed. The man is so young and like he's still young and he can move very fast. I wouldn't have guessed he was in the business for 20-some years.
Yeah. Yeah, he got started pretty young.
And he is thriving. He is doing incredible.
He is. You know, I feel like he is just now coming into his own. So
Same, like ever since even before the Intercontinental title he won, he's been doing amazing by himself. He's been having a good run. Even when he was beefing with like the bloodline and everything, he's been doing incredible. But now, like you said, he's in the zone. I believe he just hit his prime.
Yep. So have you been pretty much a lifelong fan of this stuff? And was there a particular point where you were looking at it and you were like, I think I can do this?
Oh yeah, for like ever since I was a kid. I don't know the specific year, but ever since I was a kid, I've always enjoyed wrestling. I started to watch wrestling like Eddie Guerrero. And when I saw Eddie, I was like, this guy's funny. Like I didn't even like much acknowledge the wrestling aspect. I just acknowledged more of the characters. Cause I was like, oh snap, Eddie is funny. He cool. Oh my God, he's cheating. Like that drew me in. And then the moment that I was like, I had a trampoline in my backyard and I was straight doing the Three Amigos suplexes. I was sitting there frog splashing my friends. And then with Shawn Michaels, I was doing the sweet chin music. Wrestling was like my interest. And then when I was able to finally do it, I wasn't gonna pass that up.
Nah.
I was not gonna pass that up. So I hopped on immediately, started training. And then the moment that RWC had this program to where you train and then you have a match, I was like, yep, it's about this time. About time to step in the world finally.
Awesome. And I couldn't agree with you more about Eddie Guerrero. I mean, that guy was amazing, and you know, gone too soon.
Too soon.
Mean,
and
you know, I mean, it's hard to know for sure, but I do feel like his passing was one of probably many factors that sent Chris Benoit down the dark road he went down.
Definitely, because it's like that was his brother, and they've been together since the WCW times, and then also New Japan. They've been like wrestling soulmates, and to find out that he lost his brother, that's just like
I think that was probably the beginning of the end for Benoit. So, and just a shame.
It was so unfortunate. Even that moment they had together at Mania, shoot, that made me cry.
Oh, that was beautiful. I mean, you know,
it was like two brothers at the top of the game.
Yeah, that was one of those moments that just sticks with you. Watching the two of them embrace in the ring at the end of Mania 20, man.
It was just picture perfect. It was beautiful. It was a moment that it felt like I knew them personally when they both had that moment. I was just like, man, that is beautiful. That is beautiful.
Yep. So speed round.
All right.
Booker T.
Can you dig it? King Booker.
Yep. Yeah, he's doing some good work on the mic down in NXT right now.
Oh yeah, he became one of my favorite commentators of today. Like I wouldn't have expected that from him to be a good commentator, but he knows how to call matches really good. He knows the play how the plays go and everything. It's just like Booker T really transitioned from a dope wrestler to a dope commentator.
Yeah. And not everybody can do that. You know, I mean, Um, not everybody can do commentary. I mean, it's not an easy task. So
It's not, because everything is on the fly. Everything is like you gotta be able to know what you're saying and know what you're seeing, like instantaneously. And Booker T was
yep.
able to adapt quick, and he got it down
Hmm.
pat.
Yep. So, and I'm fully aware that, training is an ongoing thing. It's basically, for the rest of your life, the rest of your career, you're going to be continuing to train. But as far as your initial training went in wrestling, what would you say was the most challenging part?
Whew, man, a lot. But the one that comes to my head is chemistry. Chemistry in wrestling is still a challenge for me. Like, cause you really gotta know when to do certain movements, and like you gotta know, and whenever you have your opponent, you gotta also know your opponent as well. And it's like it's still tough for me, because even with the character that you have, it has to coincide with the chemistry you have with your opponent. And that is still a challenge for me, even like with the pacing of the match, which coincides with chemistry. That's still tough, because in wrestling, you gotta go slow, no matter what. You feel like you're
Yep.
going slow, go slower.
Hmm.
Because they want everybody, even from the audience, the people in the back, whatever, they want them to capture the moment. They don't want to
Yep.
miss no moments.
Yeah, there is a saying in the Navy SEALs: slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Oh, that's an awesome saying. I never heard that. My patent that.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense in so many aspects of life.
exactly. Chemistry is very much key in wrestling. Key, and it pretty much also helps you to create a relationship with the audience, whether it's a heel or a baby face. The chemistry is key to connecting with the crowd, and is key to having a good match that has a good story to back it.
Absolutely. So, away from wrestling, what are some of your other hobbies and interests?
Oh, well, my other hobbies and interests, I love to act. Acting has always been a first love for me, and I'm still doing it. Acting, I write, whether it's music or screenplays. I'm writing an anime, and I'm writing a horror, not a horror film really, but I'm writing a thriller type film with a friend. Um, Video games, I stream from time to time. Um, that's pretty much all of what I love to do outside of wrestling is video games, writing, film, and music. I'm learning to produce music as well.
Awesome, awesome. Do you play any instruments in particular?
Nope, but I plan on in the future. That's a definite goal of mine, is to learn. Is the first one is the drums.
Gotcha, gotcha. I'm actually a hobbyist bass player. I've been doing that for a few years. I've played guitar most of my life, and I took up bass about 4 years ago because my son took up guitar and he basically absconded with all my guitar gear. So I ended up switching to bass at that point, and I discovered I'd been a bass player all my life and just didn't know it. So
That's
it's
awesome. You had that God-given talent right there. The moment that bass guitar hit your hand, you was like, "Oh yeah, I feel it.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I feel it."
Just playing around with it for these last 4 years, I've got to say that I'm a better bass player 4 years in than I was a guitar player like 40 years in. So you
Wow.
know. So anyway, so I'm guessing I know the answer to this, but you know is the dream to have wrestling be a full-time thing? And and in the meantime, do you have a day job?
I do have a day job. I got two actually, and it's like I got two day jobs, and I'm also still wrestling. So it's like I'm making it work. If I know I have the time, I'm gonna do it. But the plan, if God sees fit, I want to make this a full time thing. Wrestling, even with acting, those are the two things I want to make full time. And in the meantime, I'm just working two jobs to provide for my family and also funding wrestling. But
Mm-hmm.
down the road, I'm planning to make this a full time thing, and I know it's gonna be that's gonna be much more better than working two jobs. Once I act and wrestle. Oh man, that's gonna be amazing.
Well, when that day comes, man, when you are able to provide for yourself doing what you love, you'll never work a day in your life again because you'll love
That's the plan right there.
it.
That's the plan.
Well, you know what? You're going to get there.
I
So,
appreciate that so much. I appreciate it.
um, speed round.
All right.
Paul Orndorff.
Ooh, Paul Orndorff. I heard that. I heard that name. I haven't seen much of Paul Orndorff, but dude is an awesome technical wrestler. I'll say that. Technical wrestler.
Yeah, he's more from back in the day, man. He was, Mr. Wonderful. Um, back in
Mr.
the
Wonder.
back in the early to mid '80s, he was kind of on top of the game. He feuded some with Hogan back then. Um, did a lot of
He was
pile
around the time
driving.
of like Buddy Rogers and them, right? With Buddy
Yeah,
Rogers.
well, he was a little after Buddy Rogers, but I mean, it was definitely back in the day. So, so what is your hometown?
My hometown is nothing but Fayetteville, North Kakalaki. That's my hometown.
North Kakalaki.
North Kakalaki. I'm born and raised here. I've been here my whole life. Only other place that I lived at was in Fort Benning, Georgia. That was for like a couple years.
So I'm guessing you were an army brat.
Oh yeah, I was a military kid. My dad was in the army. He served 24 years. And during that time, we only lived in Georgia. Then we moved right back to North Carolina. Ever since then, I've been here.
Well, my dad and my father-in-law are both retired Air Force, so I,
Yeah,
I know how that life is, man. And I mean,
it was a fun
thankful.
life.
Oh, it was. Yeah, my dad got out of the Air Force after I guess 22 years in. So yeah, he had a good run with it. So,
Hey, I thank
but
your family for their service, sir.
and yours too, man. So what is your favorite thing about North Carolina?
Let's see. My favorite thing about North Carolina, um, variety. It has everything. Um, they have Carolina Beach. They got a beach here. They got some film studios here in North Carolina. I never knew that till like 2, 3 years ago. They got one in Wilmington, and then there's a whole lot of good wrestling in Durham, Charlotte, Fayetteville. Like there's a whole bunch of variety here in North Carolina, and then there's also we made. I'm gonna brag on this every time I say this. North Kakalaki made some legendary entertainers, um, people in sports, actors.
Mm-hmm.
North Carolina has made so many promising folks from like J. Cole, Ninth Wonder, Vince McMahon. He helped with the WWE despite of what's going on. The man's from I think Pinehurst, North Carolina, or something. the Hardys, Ric Flair, like so many people came
Mm-hmm.
from North Carolina. It's like I'm from North Carolina. If they was able to, make it out of a city like this or make it out of a state like this, I know I can.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, the Carolinas are legendary in wrestling. I mean, like you said, so much has happened in the Carolinas, and I mean, back when I was a kid, it was the Mid Atlantic territory, and seeing some of the stuff going on up there, man, it was there was a lot. There was a lot, and it's definitely a place to be proud to be from.
I would have loved to see it during that time because I've seen some old school wrestling clips from that mid Atlantic areas, and I was like, man, the crowds,
Hmm.
they was going crazy. The crowd was all into the shows. I was like, man, I would have been enjoying my time in this show.
Hmm. Speed round.
All right.
And this guy, you may potentially know him by three different names: Malachi Black, Alistair Black, or Tommy End.
Oh my gosh. Fade to Black.
Hmm.
Fade to. He is one of my favorite wrestlers of today. Oh man. I never seen him as Tommy End, but I did see him as Alistair Black. And when I first seen him in NXT, I was like, who
Hmm.
is this dude? This dude looks so dope. Like, oh, his wrestling theme song, amazing. The way he came in, awesome. His finisher is a spin around freaking kick to the head. I said,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Something I like about him, and I I like this about a lot of the wrestlers today, is that a lot of them are training in, I guess for lack of a better word, shoot martial arts. And bringing some of that to their in-ring style, like Tommy brings the like you said, that spin kick. And a lot of these guys are training in like Brazilian jiu-jitsu and bringing some of those techniques to the ring. And so yeah, I absolutely love that dude just for bringing shoot martial arts to his in-ring style.
I agree. And one of the things that I also, it's another background that I have. I'm a black belt in karate, Bushido karate empty hand. I'm actually a black belt in that. And one of the things that I've also wanted to implement in my wrestling is my background in karate.
Very cool. Very cool.
Oh yeah.
So, they say the best wrestling personas are yourself turned up to 11. So tell me a bit about in-ring Mar Deville and kind of compare and contrast him with everyday you.
Well, how we are different is from Mardeville and or Slim Lion. I got different monikers, different names. Mardeville, Slim Lion to Shamar Little. Shamar Little's a humble man. I always I always humble myself. I'm confident, but I'm not arrogant. And the one thing about Mardeville, the Trillest, because the Trillest is just two words combined together, true and real. It's a trill thing. That's something my cousins also say in Texas. That's where it came from too, in Texas. Um, that character, his confidence is through the roof. I have confidence as Shamar Little, but Mardeville's confidence is through the roof. Now that's arrogance. That's a
Hmm.
guy who's cocky, who says, "Yeah, who are you? I could beat you. Shoot, I'll do whatever it takes to win." That's also the thing. He says, "I would do whatever it takes to get the win. I don't care." But Shamar Little, I'll play by the rules. I don't want to get in trouble. But Martindale, he don't care.
Gotcha.
He does not care.
So is Slim Lion a third persona, or what is that?
That is also, yes, that's another name. And it's funny how the name came about. It's still funny to me because people ask, like, where's Slim Lion? Where'd you get that name from? The name came from my primary trainer, Nightstick Eddie Brown.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just so funny because we was in training, and I think it was after training or during. He just looked at me, squinting, smiling. I looked at him, squinting, smiling back. I said, "What's up?" And he just said, "Slim Lion." I said, "Huh?" He was like, "Slim Lion." I asked him, like, why'd you do Slim Lion for? And he said, "Well, for one, you look like Snoop Dogg." And I said, okay, that's a good choice. That's a good point. And you're slim, you're skinny. So I say, yeah, that's also true. And the reason why he did that with Snoop Dogg, because I believe he personally, not believe, he does know him personally, because he's part of the Death Row family. And I was like, whoa, for real? He wasn't lying. He showed me the picture of the Death Row chain with Snoop Dogg letter in it. And he also had Mercedes Moné, Snoop's niece or cousin, excuse me, Snoop's cousin. He had her wrestle in his company a couple times years ago. So knowing that that's how the name came about, I was like, okay, I'm gonna stick with this name. I'm gonna stick with it. This is a dope way, a little good origin background of how Slim Lion was made.
That is very cool, man. And that's been one of the really fun things about doing these is hearing some of the backstories and such, of some of these personas and such. And man, that's really cool. So thank you for sharing that.
Oh yeah. You are more than welcome, because that's still something that's like I feel really like honored, because he could have named something else, but knowing that he named me that with the reasoning behind it, I said, okay, yeah, I'm gonna take it. I'm
That's high
go with this for
praise.
sure.
That's high praise.
Exactly. I'm like, yep, I'm not gonna take this one for granted.
So, tell us about your very first match. What was it like? How did it go? What were your thoughts going into it, and then your thoughts coming out of it?
So my first match was in April of this year, April 5th, I believe. It was at the Crown Expo Center, which I was like, what? I'm performing at the Crown? Which is the only little coliseum that we have here in Fayetteville. And I've been going here since I was a kid. I've seen wrestling, I've seen TNA wrestle here. Went to a couple of basketball games, even WWE wrestled here. And knowing that I was going to wrestle in this building, I was like, whoa, this is going to be dope. My first match is against somebody who I will always say thank you to for having my first match with, G Money. He is the current RWC World Heavyweight Champion. During the time we had our match, he was the RWC Television Champion. And I can also say this, my first match was a title match. My first match. Cool. I know, right? It was for the RWC belt. And going into it, oh my gosh, I was nervous. My heart was racing in the back. I had butterflies in me. I was sweating. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm really about to wrestle right now. I'm really about to start this wrestling journey. And doing it with G, who was taking his time with me, he was very patient. He said, we're going to do it like this. We're going to keep it simple, but we're also going to, we're going to make it look good. We're going to make it awesome. And I was like, bet, we're going to do this. We're going to do it. And the moment I walked through the curtain, it was like all of my nervousness was used in my character, and it just, like, it left. All that nervousness left. And throughout the match, it was good. I was developing my character within the match. And then, of course, I didn't get the win, which didn't matter because I had a match. I had my first match. I didn't get the win. And what G said, because he didn't have to say this, he said for his first match, he said to the crowd, for his first match, he did a good job. He did, and from him saying that, I was like, gee, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then when I got to the back, he was like, you good? How you feeling? I said, I feel great.
That's awesome. That
Yeah,
is
it was
very
awesome.
cool.
He's a blessing. G, thank you, my man. Thank you.
Speed round.
All right.
Ric Flair.
Woo! The nature boy. Reeling dealing. Styling, profiling. Limousine riding. Wheeling dealing, son of a gun. Oh my gosh.
That's a guy that lives his gimmick 24/7.
Oh yeah, like it's like, yeah, Ric Flair, he's an example of him like turned up 100% in and out of the ring. He is the person that is like the blueprint of staying in character, in and out of the ring. That he is himself in and out of the ring. Like Ric Flair is just, that's him. You see him in the ring, that's him outside. And it's just like, he's a good person who could tell a story. He is one of the he's one of the wrestlers whose chemistry is unmatched. One of them next to Bret Hart and so many others.
Yep.
So Ric Flair, oh yeah, I watch his matches for sure, for characters, for chemistry, even technical wrestling. The man could wrestle his butt off.
Yep. You know, one of probably my I've mentioned this to other guests on here, but I'm going to tell you as well. One of my probably top 3 favorite matches of all time, and you can probably find it on YouTube, was a match from 1989. It was at a Clash of the Champions. It was an I Quit match between Ric Flair and Terry Funk.
Oh my God.
If you have not seen that match, you owe it to yourself to look that match up and watch it. It is a masterclass in ring psychology and storytelling.
Oh my gosh. Terry Funk was
Yep.
and will forever be that dude. I've seen the Terry Funk match when he was in New Japan, when he was in that death match. I forgot who he was with. I seen that whole match. I said, whoa, this guy here, he's one of the guys I studied too, Terry Funk. But Ric Flair, I seen the match he had with George South. Now that was also a good wrestling match for storytelling. You could tell who was like the strong one, who was the more intellect one. Like Ric Flair can show that easily to folks to make you understand who's who in the match and what's going on within the match. Rick has always been a talented individual to do that.
Absolutely. So we've heard about your first match. Now tell us about your favorite match that you've been a part of so far. I mean, your career is, still kind of getting off the ground, but do you have a match that you've done that's been your favorite?
A match that so far has been my favorite, which is it was the second match that I had in my career. Okay. And that was against he was the heavyweight champion during this time, Xander Keys. Phenomenal dude in and out the ring. That was my favorite match because before the match, me and him was talking trash to each other, calling each other names. I think he said something about my hair. And then I said, hey, y'all, I'm about to wrestle bootleg Mr. Clean. And I saw him smirk. I saw him smile and smirk. And he said, you take that back. I almost laughed. And throughout that whole match, it was incredible. We was working and who was heel, who was face. He was pointing at my wife and my kids like, is this your son? Is this your husband? Yada yada yada. We just talking trash, and then I was coming back. I was doing a comeback and everything. It was just so fun. I had a good time, and then that was also my first win in my career was against Xander Keys. So one of the other wrestlers at the time, not at the time, he's still there. Pecos, he got it. He was helping me. he distracted Xander, and I got him with a roll up. It was 1, 2, 3, and everybody went crazy. I was like, "Oh snap! I beat the heavyweight champion off of a roll up pin." Oh my lord, it was awesome. I have fun. That so far is my favorite match that I've ever had in my career so far.
Awesome. So, and at this point, you may not really have an answer for this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. And that is, what has been your strangest encounter with a fan?
A strange encounter. So far, yeah, I haven't had any strange encounters with a fan. I know it's bound to come though.
You will.
Oh my lord, I know I will. I'm ready for that time, and then I'll be like, "Hey man," I'm gonna come back to you and be like, "Hey man, look, remember that question?
You're not gonna believe what happened.
You won't believe what just happened with this fan." Oh my god, I will tell you in a heartbeat. I'm like, "Man, look, this fan did so and so. This man did. I didn't know how to react. I didn't know what to do." So I know it's gonna happen. I'm waiting for that day.
Oh yeah. So, do you have a preference yourself between working heel or babyface?
Well, so far my best preference is a heel, only because outside of wrestling, I'm a very kind-hearted individual. I'm very respectful. I'm nice. I'm a caring person. So it's like I want to do something that's outside of my true self, which is, like I said, I'm a nice person. I want to be like, let me be an a-hole. I want to see how that's gonna be. And working heel, that's been really fun. I prefer a heel because I'm being somebody that's outside. I'm outside of my box. I'm not within myself as Shamar. I could be outside of Shamar as Slim Lion or Deville, and working heel to the crowd, getting the best reaction. I remember one time at a show, I just walked out and I had so many boos. I said in my head, "Oh wow, I didn't even say anything. I didn't even have a match. I just walked out the apron."
Mm-hmm.
And I had boos on boos. And the one thing that I learned in acting, even in wrestling, you got to have a reason to have the crowd react.
Yep.
You make the crowd leave with something they didn't walk in before with. And they came in not knowing who I was, but they left not liking me.
And they say, love me or hate me, you'll never forget me. And if that's the case, you've done your job.
Exactly. I've done what I'm supposed to do. I went to the back and I said, if they didn't like me, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing my job. I'm not mad at it. I'm enjoying the trip.
Yep. Well, it's as I guess coming from the perspective of a fan, I've always found myself gravitating more toward the heels because I usually find them to be more compelling characters. For the simple reason that most of them are a heel for a reason. They're not being an asshole just to be an asshole. There's a reason why they are the way they are. And getting into the backstory and really digging into the character, I just find it fascinating, and something that I thought was really cool, and it definitely shows in his character work and his promos, is during the time before he really got into the ring and such, Cody Rhodes took off for the West Coast and went to acting school for a while. Yeah. So he actually got some professional training as an actor. And it's been interesting watching him leverage some of that in some of the stuff that he's doing now, like that promo he did, I guess last week with Roman on the football field at Georgia Tech. That was awesome. that was a compelling promo, and And you can definitely, look at that as a master class from two guys at the very top of their game. So,
Oh yeah, that promo, that whole thing. I watched the whole thing. I said, "Oh man, they really trying to bring and add a new layer into this story and just to the company as a whole when they implement stuff such as the cinema type stuff." And it was just incredible. I never knew he went to acting school, but showing that it makes sense, and he has done a dope job.
he has. Speed round.
All right.
Sammy Guevara.
Oh man, woo, AEW. What was the he was something with Chris Jericho. The not Les Champions. Was it Les Champions? I think, but Sammy Guevara, he's a really good wrestler. Like his move set, I'd be like, how can he do this? No matter, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. He's a risk taker. I'll say that.
His Spanish Fly is one of he's probably one of the best in the business at executing that particular move. And that looks like that's not an easy move to do. So,
because it's like I agree. Because if someone tried to say, "Hey, we're gonna do a Spanish Fly," I'm not doing no Spanish Fly. I'm gonna mess up somewhere. I'm not. I gotta do a backflip while the other do a front flip. It's like it gotta be in sync too. Oh, that sounds like it's gonna be a challenge.
Yeah, a lot of cooperation in that technique for sure.
One of my favorite movesets by him is when he like does a flip, but it's like he turns like it's like a little flip where he like turns with it as well. I'm like, yo, that move is nice. I don't know the name of the move, but it's like he tucks his body and does like a little flip with a little twist to it. I was like, man, I don't know how he can do that.
He's physically gifted. I mean, that's all you can say.
I want to be physically gifted like that. I want to do flips too. Shoot.
So, in terms of your in-ring work and your promos, who or what would you say are some of your influences? And it can be other wrestlers, pop culture, whatever.
Shawn Michaels. That is my influence. He was also one of the reasons why I wanted to wrestle too. Shawn Michaels, like his character work, how he carries himself down the ring. That's what like the arrogance like, and he could back it up with it too.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I want my character to be as well. Like he knows he can wrestle, but he's arrogant. Like if you try to wrestle him, he'll kick you in the face. That's how.
Mm-hmm.
That's how when it comes to like my promo work or wrestling, I want to develop that. I want to be confident. I want to be arrogant, but like not of much of an a-hole arrogant, like I always say Stone Cold. Stone Cold is kind of an a-hole arrogant, but just somebody who can carry themselves like, yes, I am this good, and I can back it up. No matter who I'm up against, you can be bigger than me with muscles. You can be taller than me. I don't care who you are. You're gonna get knocked down.
Yep. NXT is blessed to have Shawn Michaels running the show down there. I mean,
oh my gosh,
for those folks to be able to learn from him, man, it is
that is a blessing in and out. I know two people who are there. But when before they got signed, one is Saquon Sugars. He's injured, but he'll be back soon. And the other is somebody who's going up against Randy Orton on the debut of CW, Javon Evans.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I've known him since like when he was like 15, 16 years old wrestling. And to see him at this point, oh man, I am like very, very proud of him. He deserves every moment because he's been working up to this moment. He even said his favorite wrestler is Randy Orton. Look who he's wrestling.
That's awesome. You know, to have that opportunity on that stage, and you know, on the CW, man, that's going to be great for him, because I mean, Randy will make him look like $1,000,000 before he eats the RKO. I mean, you know.
I'm like, I know that RKO was gonna be, I'm gonna be hurt, but I'm like, oh, he's gonna sell it like $1,000,000, man.
Yep. Yep.
Oh man, that's gonna be an awesome match.
For sure, for sure. Well, you know, knowing that little story that you just told, man, I'm even more excited for it. You know, knowing that he's your boy, I'm excited to see how the match goes, and see how Randy elevates him, because you know he will.
Oh yeah, Randy's gonna elevate him for most definitely, and I'm very happy for him. I'm very proud of him. He's earned all of it to now, so I know he's gonna do great.
Yep. So, do you have an all-time favorite match as a fan? You know, one that you can have watched a million times and it just never gets old, and there's always some new little nugget you can pull from it.
Oh man, it's a lot in my head right now, but the one that I can nail it down to is it's a tie between two. It's Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker at WrestleMania, the first match that they had, that one, and then Kurt Angle, Randy Orton, and Rey Mysterio. Those are my two right now, because it was especially Kurt, Randy, and Ray. Oh man, they had some phenomenal chemistry. Everything from the transitions from move to move was smooth. You could tell Kurt was the one who was the strong one out of that whole one. He was just throwing and tossing everybody. When he had Orton in the German and Randy had Ray for the German, he just tossed them both, and Ray flew across the ring. I was like, oh my goodness. Kurt is going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. That was emotional because these two had history. They
Oh
know
yeah.
what was more important. Shawn knew the streak was Undertaker's bread and butter. And Shawn Michaels and Undertaker knew that Shawn's integrity was something that Shawn held high. And it was like they was both fighting to end that. And when Shawn lost the first time, I was like, no. But it was like, it was so good. I wasn't mad that Shawn lost. So it was like I was at an impasse with that. It was that good.
Right. So, and this can be present day or past. Who would be a dream opponent for you? Who would you just absolutely love to work?
Mm. Oh man. Probably Malachi Black.
I
Malachi
could
Black.
I could see that.
Cause me and him, like he got his own background in martial arts. I got my own background in martial arts. Us utilizing that at the same time. Brawlers, him with the kicks. My sensei said I had good kicks. We both doing it's gonna be a phenomenal match with and I know the storytelling behind it is gonna be dope. But Alistair Black, Malachi Black, Tommy End, that's my dream opponent.
I could see you actually probably having good matches with Swerve Strickland or Darby Allin as well.
Oh man, I love Swerve. I would definitely love to have a match with Swerve Strickland. That would be fire. And Darby, oh man, like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to go through a table, or I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to get hit with a chair at some
Yeah,
point.
or set on fire.
I'm saying Darby's gonna have me doing some crazy spots, and I'm gonna be like, go easy on me, man. Go easy on me. Even with Swerve, he gonna bring out a staple.
Aha, he is back.
Yep. That was my
You are
bad.
you are back, sir.
Yep, I am back. That was my fault. My phone started overheating, but it's good now.
Ah, good, good. Well, I'm glad you made it back, man. um,
Yep, my bad.
oh, hey, man, you know, one thing I will say about live streaming is it is not a live stream if something doesn't go a little sideways. So, you know, I'm used to it. I'm used to improvising. You know, it's all good.
Okay.
Um, so something I'll ask, you know, and this may not really apply yet because you haven't been doing this that long. But
Hmm.
what hurts right now?
My shoulder.
Your shoulder hurts.
Yep. So I had a match recently with against these. So OVW.
Yeah,
So I went up against these wrestlers from OVW. They're called Dark Cloud, and they was on the Netflix series Wrestlers
yeah.
that was about OVW, and I had a match against them, which was fun. That was also another
Oh,
fun
no
match,
doubt.
and it's on YouTube as well. It's on Ring Wars Carolina YouTube channel, and there was a moment to where I was thrown into the turnbuckle, but
Hmm.
my foot stumbled and I hit my shoulder on the turnbuckle. I was like, ah, Jesus, this hurts. But I had to keep going. I couldn't die in the ring. I had to keep
Right.
going. But that hurt. And then after the match, I got choke slammed. And then I was like, yep, this hurts. That's the name of the business, though.
Yep. So, what are your thoughts in general on the current state of the business?
Incredible. Each moment that I see that all these different companies working together, seeing that WWE was working with Marigold, Noah, New Japan, TNA, seeing that all these other companies are working with each other, it is just so awesome that it feels like back in the old days where everybody was working with together, with everybody working together. And I'm loving it because it introduces fans to new wrestlers that they never probably seen before outside of the main company that they watch. Like
Hmm.
with Julia, that's one of my favorite female wrestlers from Japan. And now that she's in
Hmm.
NXT, oh my gosh, I am very happy for her. And then you got I never watched New Japan until Shinsuke Nakamura.
Hmm.
When I saw Shinsuke, I started to watch New Japan or Noah, the G1 classics and all that stuff. I was like,
Hmm.
wow, these guys are incredible. So it's like one of my favorite wrestlers now from New Japan is Naito Tetsuya.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Tetsuya Naito. Yeah.
That's my boy. And then Tanahashi,
Hmm.
like it helps it with them doing this, it brings them new people. Not just wrestlers, but audience members, sponsors, whoever. So I'm glad that they're taking this route to work with so many other people.
Yep. Speed round.
All right.
Jake something.
Oh my gosh. Versatile. That dude is amazing. My first time seeing him live was in this show called Deadlock Pro Wrestling in Durham, based out of North Carolina. And I seen Jake something. His moveset is incredible.
Hmm.
I remember one time live, it's my first time seeing this counter. Somebody was like going for I think a Hurricanrana. And it was like he caught them, rolled them, got back up, and then just powerbombed them. I said, "Excuse me,
Yeah.
you can count it like that?" I was like, "Yo, he is something." That's all. No pun intended. This man
Yeah.
is something.
He is, and I'll agree with you on the innovative part, man. That into the void finisher that he uses. I mean, that looks like that just it looks like he could just kill somebody doing that. I mean,
That's like I don't mind I would love to wrestle Jake something, but then it's like I don't want to get killed by Jake something. So it's like I'm in between.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what is your thought and your take on the role that social media plays as a promotional tool for wrestling?
It's pros and cons. It's with social media, it's really more cons than good. It's because people are very biased. People do more negative than good, but it's like
Hmm.
there's some good into it because people could see and experience something that they never seen before in the business that they watch, like with WWE. They've never seen or heard of who like what for instance, like LA Knight. When LA Knight came to the WWE, he was Eli Drake.
Right.
Nobody heard of him, but when people heard him, he caught everybody's attention. And they found throughout, who he was through social media. So social media can help bring fans to new to another company that they never even cared about watching or they never heard of. So there are some good with social media in regards to promoting. Heck, even some promoters say we look at social media for direction or advice on what the people want to see. And
Right.
there are some good points from the fans. I'm not going to just say they're bad as a whole, but there'd be some good points as fans on social media that hey, if you could just suggestions, if you could implement this or you could add this, you never know what you can get from this. And it's like when they add it and it turns out to be good, it was like that came from those people from social media. And they could be folks who haven't wrestled or haven't been in the business backstage. They just, know entertainment in their own way. And it can still work to the benefit of other wrestling companies. But it's like nowadays, the internet wrestling community, IWC, it's just been uh, it's been so bad. I'll just say that. I keep my opinions to myself.
No, no, I agree with you. You know, like so many other things, social media has its positives, but it has a lot of negatives as well. And it really just depends on what you use it for and how you leverage it. So,
There you go. And I make sure I use social media in a platform to promote myself and also the company that I'm wrestling for and many others within the company. I use them to promote them. And I even tell my friends about this to where, because they be fans of it. It's like some of them are fans now of some of the guys in RWC. And it was because, like, hey, check us out. We bring some good entertainment. And when they come, they be like, yo, that was awesome. I'm a fan of so and so right here. And I'm like,
hmm,
there you go.
yep. So you're still a comparatively young guy, but knowing everything you know at this point in your life, if you could give any advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Be patient in what you want to do in life. Don't rush it. Something when I was doing when I was young, I was just, I didn't have the patience that I had now because I've always wanted something that I've always wanted to do in that moment. And I'll be getting mad when it didn't happen. But now I'm at a point in my life where you take your time, you be patient because patience is the virtue. It's a key to longevity and brevity. Be patient. Learn how to, wait when your time comes. And like I said, when I was young growing up, I didn't like to wait for something that I wanted. But now that I'm learning that and it's coming, you know, one at a time, it's all because I trust the process. I had faith and I was just patient on what was next to come.
Like you said, man, patience is a virtue. And, uh, you know, And good things come to those that wait. So,
Exactly. And that's something that even when I was in church that I was told, blessings come to those who wait, who have patience and trust God in the process. And I'm like, and he's not lying. I'm here now in the wrestling business. I never thought I would be, but I'm here now. And it's all because I took my time and I waited for the time to come.
yep. And you had faith.
Faith, yes, sir.
Yep, yep, yep. So, do you have a favorite move, something you just really enjoy doing? And on the flip side of that, is there a move that you won't do or you would rather not do? And that can be giving or receiving.
The move that I don't know. The move that like I said, I don't want to take for one is the Spanish fly. Because I feel like I'm going to mess up. That's the one move I don't think I'm comfortable in taking. The move that I love doing, because it's Shawn Michaels, freaking super kick. Like, what? Kicking people in the face? Oh my gosh. That's the move I love. And then the scissor kicks, Booker T. It's another move I love, excuse me. And then another move that I don't think I will take, probably the Canadian Destroyer.
Yeah, Canadian destroyers and vertebreakers to me look like recipes for disaster if it's done wrong. I
Oh my
mean,
lord, one slip up, it's a wrap. I'm like, that's a risk I don't think I want to take yet.
yep, yep, yep,
I got to be at least 10 years in the game to be like, all right, Canadian Destroyer, let's get it.
yep. So, do you have any pre match traditions, rituals, superstitions, anything that you try to do consistently before you walk through the curtain?
Pray. I always pray because I pray for the safety of who I'm working with. I pray for the safety of myself. I pray that we know what we have to do next in the sequence. I always pray just because if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be in this business. I wouldn't be here where I am now if it wasn't for Him. So I always pray, and I do what in theater. I do these pre-jitter shakes to get out of
Mm-hmm.
my system and just get me loose. I always do that as well. So I pray, and I just start to do my little theater um, pre-workout nervousness stuff.
Absolutely. So something that I've done in all of these, and it's really just been kind of a fun thing, is I have let the current guest pose a question for the next guest.
Okay.
So my previous guest was a masked luchador from California by the name of Sleepy Rasla, and and Sleepy's actually a really cool dude. I think you would actually really like him.
That sounds
But
like that's a dope name.
yeah, but so the question that he posed is, what do you do when you see your opponent slash match partner hesitate?
I just bring them. What I do, or what I would do, is I would bring them close. As we do in wrestling, we keep it tight, and I'll just say, "Hey, relax. Keep it. Get your body loose. Relax. Everything's gonna be good. We just gotta follow what we practice, and this match is gonna end the way that we want it to. So all we gotta do, breathe, relax, slow down. I'm here with you. You're here with me. We got each other's back.
Yep. And that's the name of the game, my friend.
That's the name of the game. I was always taught: protect yourself, protect your partner, but also have fun.
Yep. And since this is part of a series, do you have a question that you would like to pose to the next guest? And I can go ahead and tell you, my next guest is actually kind of interesting. Um, he is he's currently a referee and wrestler in training, and he is the youngest licensed wrestling referee in the state of Utah at the age of 14.
Hey,
His,
congrats.
his name is Brick Alexander Jr. He is a third generation wrestler. His dad and his grandfather both wrestled, and he's training. But he's refereeing for now, planning to make his debut at a future point when he's older. But yeah, I'm actually really excited to talk to him because he's going to have some really unique and interesting perspectives on everything. So I'm really jazzed for that one. That's going to be
Uh,
Monday night at 7:30 Eastern.
I'm
But
very
but it doesn't have to be a question particular to him. Just, do you have a question you'd like to ask to the next person?
yeah, and this would and even if I didn't know the background of this person, I would really just say, what's giving you the drive to pursue this career? What's the reasoning behind you want to be in this business?
I like that. Um, so, to sort of sum it up, what is your why?
Exactly. What is your why in this business?
How would you answer that?
My why in this business, a dream. A dream
Yeah,
turned
chase
reality.
that dream.
A dream that I've been working years to make reality. To make something, to make my family proud, make my two kids and my wife proud.
Absolutely, man. So we're getting toward the end of things now. Do you have any upcoming shows or anything you'd like to give some hype to?
Why, yes, I do. Ring Wars, Carolina. We will be in Pine Bluff, North Carolina tomorrow. And then October 5th, we will be in Lumberton at the Priscilla Crown Arena in Lumberton, North Carolina, October 5th. So
Very
be there.
nice. Who are you wrestling? Okay.
I don't even know myself
Nice.
yet.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you for your time, man. This has been a blast. And I'm just really, really blessed to have had you as my guest. And man, for everybody that's been watching this live, thank you. For those of you that'll be watching this on replays, thank you for that. If you like what we have going here, please spread the word. This thing is really taking on a life of its own. Man, I've got bookings now for the next 3 weeks, and more that I'm waiting to hear back on. I've got some really exciting guests coming up. Like I said, Monday at 7:30, I've got Brick Alexander Jr. Thursday the 3rd at 7 p.m. I've got a Georgia-based wrestler named Jonah Hunt that I'm definitely excited to talk to, and I've got more that I've announced on social media, and more to come that I haven't announced yet. But like I said, I'm having a blast being a very small part of an industry that I have loved for 40 years, and just having the time of my life doing these and meeting people like you, man.
Thank you so much, man. You are actually my first ever interview that I had for wrestling. So this is an honor that I was that you are my first ever interview for wrestling. So it's like I'm gonna remember this for a long time.
Well, man, it's like I said, it has been a real treat talking to you. And consider yourself as having a standing invitation to come back. You're part of the Throwdown family now. And
Yes.
so I mean, if you've got more stuff you want to say, if you've got stuff you want to hype, just holler at me, and we'll definitely have you back.
I
I
would love
mean,
that, man.
and So anyway, like I said, I will be back Monday night at 7:30 with Brick Alexander. So we'll call it a night for tonight, but we will see y'all soon, and have a good night and be safe.
Have a truck.